Welcome to the Real Mongolia channel, a deep insight into Mongolia without bias and agenda. In this video, I'm gonna give you the tour of statues and monuments in Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia. If you want to know more about the land of the blue sky, please consider subscribing. I'm your host Pyra, and let's go. Thunder the Hero statue. I couldn't film this one because it is located inside the Ministry of Defense area. The statue has been closed to the public since it was built 22 years ago. Known as the hero with a piebald horse, Mr. Thunder had gained popularity throughout the country after he was bestowed a title Extraordinary Hero for his bravery shown in Ulaanbaatar battle in 1939. It is said that he often led his division in cavalry charge and chopped off the enemy soldier's head left and right. Thanks to the government publicity campaigns, his military exploits became the stuff of legend after the war. Although he was stripped of his titles after killing a Soviet soldier over a disagreement in 1946, Mr. Thunder was pardoned by the government after spending 4 years in prison. Youngjae statue. No leader in the Eastern Bloc stayed in power longer than him, not even Joseph Stalin himself. From 1940 to 1984, the fate of the people in Mongolia was held in Youngjae's hand. He was our supreme leader. There is a theory that the most powerful political figure in Mongolia at the time was not Tsetumbal, but his Russian wife, Anastasia Filatova. Some people say that she was a KGB agent who pulled the strings, that Filatova shaped Tsetumbal's political decisions to benefit the Soviet Union under the direction of the KGB. I don't know, maybe I watched too many political thrillers. Tsetumbal was forced into retirement in 1984 in a Soviet-sponsored move. Officially on the basis of his mental illness, but in reality, because of his opposition to the Soviet government's policy regarding China. Ulaanbaatar statue. And this is the man who succeeded him, Ulaanbaatar. Thanks to him, Mongolia peacefully transitioned from communist one-party rule into democratic system in 1990. As a head of state, he could have ordered military crackdown on protesters had he wanted to stay in power. Instead, he decided to accept the demands for change and resigned with his entire cabinet, saying, "We few Mongolians should never make one another bleed." I think today's politicians have a lot of things to learn from this man. He died in poverty 7 years later. Ulaanbaatar statue. In front of the National Library, you can find the great Ulaanbaatar statue. He was Mongolia's first holder of the doctorate degree and the nation's foremost scholar in various fields, especially linguistics. A widely known and respected figure, he was proficient in 9 languages and was a direct descendant of Genghis Khan. His great-grandson is currently working as a member of a parliament at the state Great Khorol. Statue. You can think of him as Mongolia's equivalent of Alexander Pushkin, a nation's most famous writer and the founder of the country's modern literature. His most famous work, My Homeland, is being taught in every school today, and his stories are being turned into stage and screenplays. In 2013, the statue was placed in front of the Ulaanbaatar Hotel, replacing Vladimir Lenin's statue, causing much debate. Because of his noble background and liberal views, Nasrudin was constantly persecuted by the government in his later life. He died in 1937 at the beginning of the political repressions in Mongolia. Marco Polo statue. Here stands the trusted envoy of Kublai Khan, founder of the Yuan dynasty. Marco Polo traveled through Asia along the Silk Road as an emissary of the Great Khan in the 12th century and detailed his experiences in his book, The Book of the Marvels of the World. He is one of the few foreign figures who have statues dedicated to them in Ulaanbaatar. And thanks to the Netflix series, his name is gaining more and more popularity here. Mother's statue. This is one of the most aesthetically pleasing statues I've ever seen in Ulaanbaatar. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any information about it, except that it was built in the late 70s when Microdistrict 3 and 4 was unveiled. I think the architect intended to portray a mother's love and care for her child, but today people simply call it a statue with breasts. Four harmonious animals. Everyone in Mongolia knows this story, the story of an elephant, monkey, rabbit and bird that worked together to reach the fruit at the top of the tree. It's an ancient Buddhist mythology that teaches about communal harmony and respect for seniority, which are deeply rooted in our culture. You can see this treat elders with respect attitude everywhere in Mongolia, especially on the bus. I suggest you to read this story if you are interested in understanding the mindset of Mongolians. Workers' Glory Monument. Behind the Workers' Cultural Palace bus stop, you can find this masterpiece. Erected in 1984, it was dedicated to the 50th anniversary of Mongolia's first industrial factory. After the People's Revolution in 1921, Mongolian economy slowly shifted towards industrialization with the help from the Soviet Union, especially in the mining and agriculture sectors. I have to warn you though, this statue is a favorite hangout place for people with alcohol dependence. Because of that, I couldn't film it longer. Banjar statue. Now this one is interesting. According to the district governor, ever since this statue was erected, crime and infant mortality rate in Bainzurg district declined remarkably. So I guess we just need to erect more statues to get rid of our social problems. Remember that Hachiko the dog statue in Tokyo, Japan? This one also reminds me of that. Mongolian Banjar dog breeds are known for their loyalty and protective nature, so I guess they deserve a statue of this magnificence.